Hi, Brian Mahon, founder of Igloo Insurance. This is episode 2 of The Climb, our independent insurance agency journey. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and how it's been going after 30 days. So, we landed our first commercial client and wanted to talk briefly about kind of the power of speaking gigs. That's one of the things I've been doing in my career, and is one of our 4 pillars of our kind of marketing strategy at Igloo. So I did a speaking gig almost 10 years ago at Northeastern Ohio Medical University when I started out in my career. And it was to a bunch of technology and life science startups. The kind of entrepreneur in residence was the gentleman that hosted us. And this guy has stayed in touch and referred us business here and there for the last 8 years or so. So it's kind of that evergreen marketing approach, right? You plant a tree, watch it grow, and you get to harvest the fruit of it, for years and years and years. So it's a lot of upfront work and effort, and usually you don't see anything immediately, but down the road you do. So we'll be continuing to do that. We spoke at a small business conference through a local university. We've got a couple partnerships with IT companies. We're doing some speaking gigs in the fall. And then I believe in the last 30 days, we were on 1 or 2 podcasts. So I like the power of kind of thought leadership or speaking gigs. Got us our first commercial client, which was cool. Also trying to take advantage of being a new business for the first time, doing press releases of, hey, there's a new local business in your area. It doesn't cost anything, and it gets a pretty far audience. We were in our local kind of penny saver merchandiser newspaper. We were in a larger Central Pennsylvania Business Journal. We also got an article from where I did my undergrad at University of Delaware. And I believe we had one more from a small independent journalist, PA Biz News, which was pretty cool. Our SEO strategy, we saw our first hint of success. Somebody Googled special events insurance in Pennsylvania, came to our website, read a blog, and called us. And we answered and had a 10-minute phone call, and they were 90% finished applying for the coverage, and we were able to turn them a quote around within, a couple days or so. So that was pretty cool. Being a small business owner in the summertime, we also got 2 beach days in on Tuesdays, which was great because there's no traffic. And then we just worked on the weekends. So I know it's hard for folks to do sometimes with a normal, W-2, 9 to 5 gig. We ordered some door hangers to just kind of say, hey, there's a new business in your area. Maybe I'll share a physical one in the next video, but it's actually made on seed paper, which is pretty cool because I hate kind of all the spammy mail we get in our mailbox all the time. So I wanted to kind of avoid that. That's why I went with a door hanger, and then you can actually rip up this advertisement and plant it, and it'll grow wildflowers, which I thought was pretty cool. But one side has instructions on what to do with it to plant it, and then the other one basically says, hi, I'm Brian. We've opened up a new business in the area. We're offering a complimentary, personal risk evaluation. And at the bottom is all of our contact information, business, life, home, auto. So started to give those out just the last couple days. I think we ordered 500 or 1,000. And I want to say it was maybe 50 cents, 70 cents each or something like that. I'll have to look. But I'll put the link to the company below. I think it's like Custom Earth Products or something. I searched a ton of places. Everybody wanted like more than $1 per unit, and I just couldn't do that. We're starting to build kind of our referral network, centers of influence. Had some interesting meetings there. I thought they maybe would go on 1 hour, and they went on 3 hours. So that was definitely a learning curve to say, hey, sorry, I got to get back to work, or hey, I've got to pick up, my kid from daycare or something. Those were pretty interesting. Also realizing, I came from kind of bigger insurance agency world. So when we referred business, it was like a walk down the hall. But now, as we interact with folks, it's like, hey, do you do employee benefits? Do you do, Medicaid or whatever? And it's like, oh, snap. I need to have a strategic partnership with someone locally to refer that business to. So we're starting, to reach out to other agencies that specialize in things that we don't specialize in. And I think that will be really helpful for us. One big setback we've had is in personal lines. I started the agency June 1st. Was supposed to go live with Erie Insurance Company June 15th. They had a huge cyber incident, data breach. Seems like it was phishing that could have led to ransomware, but their security operations center and cybersecurity folks internally did a really good job and voluntarily took the systems offline. So that was a unfortunate event. I believe all their millions of policyholders couldn't pay their bills. Their thousands of employees couldn't, access their computer for like 17 days. This was a really sophisticated ransomware, scattered spider cybercrime gang. They took down a bunch of retailers in the UK last year, and then they targeted the insurance industry. I believe Aflac got hit. Philadelphia Insurance Company got hit. I heard rumors of potentially the Hartford or Ivans had implications, although I'm not really sure. And then I just saw an article that the Scattered Spider ransomware group is turning their target on the U.S. airline industry. So that will be interesting to see. So Erie did get their systems back late last week, and I should be up and running next week. So I'm in a way, I'm glad it didn't happen like 3 or 6 months into the business, but it's still, obviously it was an unforeseen issue. So, folks that want help, where Erie is kind of my go-to, we just couldn't do much. So I'll say we have maybe 7 or 8 personal lines opportunities in the mix and maybe 5 commercial, which, for 30 days of business isn't horrible. But it takes time, right? I mean, some sales cycles in insurance are a year, if not, months or 90 days or 120 days. So as far as technology goes, loving Agency Zoom for kind of the pipeline. We haven't done the automations yet. I got all the integrations set up where, we can push from Assembly, our intake, custom form data entry. When folks are applying, we can push that to Momentum or push that to Agency Zoom, which is nice. Apollo, we have some sequences or automations set up. That Chrome plugin has been very helpful. It's still very clunky searching around in there, but we're booking some demos, doing some learning, so those are coming along. We did have success with the intent data, where somebody was searching for workers' comp, like a local mental health counselor, and we kind of threw them in a sequence. I think I left him one voicemail. He got a few automated emails, and then the owner started emailing back from his iPhone like, hey, do you do work comp? We're like, of course. And turns out he had a policy cancel due to non-payment on accident, and he didn't realize it for, I think, a couple months or a couple weeks. So he was like panicking, needed a policy. So we turned that around in 24 hours, which was really cool because we kind of, caught him when he needed us, which is the whole point of the intent data. So it works. You just, have to be consistent and play with it. I will say personal lines in general, definitely facing a learning curve there, like way more underwriting data than I thought. Thought you just needed like name, address, driver's license number, do you have any weird things like a pool or a dog? And there's a lot more, additional underwriting questions I'm running into. So, hopefully that changes here shortly. Some of the things we need to do better. I think our cold call volume was too low. I mean, I didn't even track it this first month, which I should have. But there's a big learning curve with kind of the new technology and even who we want to target. I did use one outsourced tool called Task Minions, which I really like. I know Micah Salas at the Max Revenue guys, he uses them every now and then. They're like an outsourced team in India that I can't remember. It's like 25 cents a record or something. But they can do research on prospects, company name, CFOs, phone number, email, things like that. So that was how we built our first initial prospect list of like 300 companies or so. We need to get out in the community more. I spend a lot of time in the office. I'd like to do, just have a table at a 5K, or I'm kind of waiting to pull the trigger on some trade associations, but we've talked to a lot of them and are strategizing there, kind of joining one association per commercial niche, because we want to go, where our ideal clients are. Our video process, we're still trying to get down. I really hope this audio doesn't go in and out. I'm facing an issue with the Blue microphone, which I love them, but for some reason the audio keeps going in and out. I think it's a driver thing. But playing around with some US folks here, people that kind of moonlight or have a small digital marketing firm, or going on Fiverr. I love recording the videos and making the thumbnails and uploading them, but I don't necessarily want to mess around with, subtitles and, transitions and things like that. So still trying to figure out how much I want to do from a video editing perspective or not. So this is episode 2 of The Climb. We'll do this again in August. If you have any comments, questions, thoughts, put your information below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much.